Hello and welcome back to Civilization VI. I'm starting a new game today as a modded civilization and/or leader, and we're just going to get started by spinning the wheel and selecting a new mod to play with. As I briefly mentioned in the last series, I have a Google Doc that lists every modded leader and civilization I could find on the Steam Workshop, and have them all listed here with the creator, whether or not it's a modded Civ or just a alternate leader for a default vanilla Civ. And I've played a good number of them and listed how it went over here. But yeah, 291 leaders that I currently have found on the Steam Workshop. So I'm going to go to pickerwheel.com here, where I have 291 options, because this, I think, is the most dramatic way to generate a random number. And we're going to see what leader we're going to play today. And the result is 209. Let's see what that is. 209. It is Prithvi Narayan Shah of Nepal. Interesting. I know Nepal was just added to Civilization VII. We're going to try another Strudeler civilization as Nepal for Civ VI. I will give it a download and we'll check it out. The Mussulmen have come for the bounty of Hindustan, wise Maharaja Prithvi Narayan Shah. Nestled between the rolling hills that overlook the sacred valleys are the various Nepali-speaking kingdoms. All of them are proud realms of a hardy and stoic Hindu people. Liberation of sacred Hindustan will require the hand of empire, brave Maharaja Dhiraj. Unite your countrymen and become a beacon to Hindus everywhere. All right, we are in the game. Let's have a look at our start for Nepal. Okay, I guess we start on a continental divide. That's always welcome. We do have tundra to our north, which is not so welcome. But we have rivers and mountains, which is great for Nepal. I'd say the yields are pretty mediocre, somewhat poor. But, we'll make do. All right, let's look at the abilities. So, as the Nepali Empire, our main ability is called Kingdoms of the Himalaya Hills, and we get some free yields. Tiles adjacent to rivers gain +1 gold, and tiles adjacent to mountains gain +1 faith. Now, assuming this works like a normal tile yield, this only applies to rural tiles, in other words, tiles without non-city center districts on them. So these yields will be competing with the yields you get from putting districts adjacent to rivers and mountains, which you usually want to do, especially campuses and this unique theater square. I don't think these yields are enough to make me want to avoid putting districts next to rivers and mountains, but this is definitely going to be a really nice boost for free right from the beginning of the game. Additionally, cities adjacent to a mountain or river gain +1 housing. I don't know if this stacks, if a river is adjacent to a mountain and a river gets +2, but still, just another nice little boost that you get right from the beginning of the game. Also, as Nepal, we get a half-price theater square that gets more expensive after every copy, and it grants the Eureka for castles when completed, which is interesting. It gets outer defenses and a range strike. So it's kind of like an encampment or a Gallic oppidum. And it gets minor culture and faith adjacency from districts, and a standard culture and faith adjacency from wonders, rivers, mountains, and natural wonders. So this is kind of like Theodora's holy sites in that you get culture and faith from the adjacency. And it also is, but it's a theater square rather than a holy site. It's half price. It's able to get really high adjacency from mountains and rivers, which is way easier to get adjacency than the normal theater square, where it's only from wonders and entertainment complexes. So this will be fun. We'll want to put this in the mountains, and we can get some really nice faith and culture going. Now, the Nepali unique unit is the Kumari Devi. It's a support class unit. It becomes more expensive after each copy, and adjacent land military units gain a burst of great person points when defeating an enemy unit. Now, this doesn't specify which great person points, so I'm thinking it gives you some of all of them. I don't know how much. That's very interesting. And it has only a lifespan of 15 turns, so that's the downside. That's a pretty short lifespan. But that would be really fun to play with. Our leader is Prithvi Narayan Shah. Our leader ability is Asal Hindustan. Pretty simple, but seems pretty powerful. Land military units gain +1 combat strength per era after the ancient era, and the industrial era grants +3 combat strength. So this makes land combat better and better the later into the game you go. You don't have to do anything to get this military strength other than have land units and survive into the late game. Also, as this leader, we get the Gurkha unique unit, which reminds me quite a bit of the Nihang unit that Lahore grants to its suzerain. It must be purchased with faith, and it has a unique promotion tree. This likely means that it does not gain the ability to attack walls directly with siege equipment, which is unfortunate. But it seems pretty powerful nonetheless. It gains 15 combat strength every time the barracks, armory, and military academy are first constructed. This means it scales throughout the game. You don't have to upgrade it to the next level unit. And it gets a ton of extra experience. 50% experience from combat in enemy territory, and 50% experience from combat on a continent different than the capital. So if we are attacking abroad, it'll be, leveling up and healing itself very quickly. Now, this seems kind of like a military-focused Civ with culture and faith bonuses, a little bit of great people, a little bit of gold. I would like to try, my goal for this game is to try for the Diplomacy Victory. Now, I have a mod that changes the requirements for the Diplomatic Victory quite a bit. It is called the Diplomatic Victory Rebalanced mod by iPlayGamesITA, and I really enjoy it. It makes diplomatic victories much harder to achieve. Look here, you need 50 diplomatic victory points, but it rebalances how you get points. And the best way to get diplomatic victory points is to complete emergencies. Liberation emergencies, city-state emergencies, religious emergencies. If you successfully complete those with the most points, you get 6 Diplo victory points. And there are other little balancing adjustments to this as well. Most of the normal ways to get diplomatic victory points are unchanged, but it really makes military and world policing much more important to this victory. So I think Nepal's abilities work well with that, so that is my goal. I haven't mentioned yet the unique promotion tree for the Gurkha has some, I saw on the Steam Workshop that it has some interesting, really interesting promotions, including one where I believe you get 1 diplomatic favor per turn and 1% envoy points or influence points per turn per Gurkha that you have. So I'm going to try and get some Gurkhas, get some diplomatic favor and influence going, and liberate some cities. Hopefully that happens. It is obviously dependent on the AI, but I've noticed that with Roman Holiday AI mod that I use, they tend to attack each other quite a bit and capture city-states. So we're just going to hope for the best, hope for some international violence, and try and put a stop to that. All right, turn 1. Let's think about this. Now, as Nepal, we want to settle adjacent to a river or a mountain, and we want to have as many tiles within our borders adjacent to rivers and mountains as possible to get that gold, faith, and housing. I am going to take my warrior and explore out here to the west Obviously, I want to move away from the tundra because we have no benefits from tundra, and we do get benefits from mountains. So I would like to come down here. In Civ VI, settling on plains hills is always a good idea because it gets you an extra production in the city center. This is a plains hill. This is also a plains hill here. I'm also looking at what is in my first ring of tiles, and I don't see any 2-2s, which is unfortunate. If I settled here, I'd have a 1-3, but I wouldn't be on a plains hill. If I settled here, I would have pretty poor first ring tiles until these rivers flood, which will improve the yields, but I would be on a 2-2. I could settle in place and also settle on a 2-2, but I'm not as close to the mountains. That being said, these tiles are actually going to be better because of my Nepal ability. These will all have +1, I think, gold to them, and these will have +1 faith. Should be able to get an early Pantheon. I think I'm going to come here. That'll be a turn 3 settle, unfortunately. Let me come down, and we'll see. I think so. As I said, we are on a continent split, which is nice. We should have some geothermal fissures nearby, lots of mountains. And it will be helpful for our Gurkha to be able to get extra experience from waging war on a foreign continent. All right. Got lots of rivers here, lots of mountains. It's turn 3, I'm going to settle. There we go, we got an extra. We got air score from being the first to set foot on the continent of Rodinia, that's great, and then 1 from being on a floodplain. And there we go, look at those tile yields. This is really powerful. This is very, very powerful, because it's right from the beginning of the game. We should get the first Pantheon, because we're already at 2 faith per turn from these tiles adjacent to the mountains. And look at all that gold. That is really cool. We're getting a lot of gold per turn, a bit of faith. Animal husbandry makes sense to me, given the fact that if we find some horses, we might be able to get some more production going in here. And I don't really see any reason to jump for anything else other than we do want to get a religion, I believe, in this game. Religion's always helpful for a diplomatic victory. And let's go for a scout. Food is definitely a problem early game. We do not have much food. This cattle resource would be nice. Got a desert over here. Got a tribal village and Zanzibar. Zanzibar is a great city-state. It gives us extra amenities if we're at suzerain. And they want a trade route, and we are the first to meet them, so we get another 2 gold in our city center, in our capital. Let's check out this +1 envoy. Excellent. I'd like to see that. Very helpful. No reason to send it right now. Doesn't do anything for me at the moment. Going from 1 to 2 envoys there, but I will hold on to that and use it when I can. We've got diamonds, we have gypsum on our continent. No luxury resources. I didn't realize that in our capital, which is unfortunate. And it looks like here is the sea. I am playing with Sucrotax Oceans mod enabled, and I am on a Pangea map with 10 players. I think the more players you have, the somewhat easier the diplomatic victory is. I did also increase the number of city-states from the base 15 to 18. That's the only thing I did to kind of stack the game in my favor. Just that might help encourage the AI to conquer some city-states so that we can liberate. All right, Barbs over here. I would like to keep their scout away from my capital as long as possible. I'm going to go for a second scout. We want to discover as much as we can. It is a Pangea map, so there is lots to discover in the early game. And discovering the world is even more important when you're going for diplomacy, because you will discover more cities and more city-states, more foreign cities, more city-states that may be the target of aggression by the AI, which means that you can get involved in emergencies earlier. All right, there is Lake Retba. Oh, we've got a world wonder. I do have the Terra Mirabilis mod. That's just kind of, I always have it in set because it's so great. It makes world wonders much more interesting. This is Sucratax mod, I believe. Any civilization that owns at least one of these tiles receives +2 gold for each unique copy of a luxury that they own. This is a pretty underwhelming ability, but definitely can make use of that if we settle there. We've got Jade over here as well. Oh, and there's a tribal village down there I hadn't realized. All right. Now here is the barbarian scout. I want to keep that away from my capital of Goraka. And Geneva, we're first meet on Geneva as well. That is excellent. Geneva is a good city-state. It gives us 15% science across our empire when we are not at war with any civilization. So that is leading us maybe towards a more pacifist game, which is all right. I do plan on going to war against aggressors, but I don't really need to aggress myself. I'm going to attack here. I wonder if we are able to get over these mountains, or if we are blocked in down here. Great. That scout is gone. Looks like Geneva might take out this barbarian camp, which is fine by me. Let's see if we can't follow this river south here, if there's a pass. Nope, we're blocked in there. That's fine. This is a +4, either Holy Site, Campus, or Gar, our unique theater square, which would mean not only +4 culture, but also +4 faith. The downside of the Gar is that it does not give us, as far as I can tell, great prophet points, which we need to get from a holy site in order to found a religion. So we need at least one holy site, but probably not a lot more than that. Oh! And look at the horses. See, that's why you go for animal husbandry. When you have kind of a crappy start, a lot of flat land, go for animal husbandry first, because there's a good chance that you'll have some horses. And we have 2 sources of horse right here in our capital, and that improves this tile a lot. From 1-1-1 to 2-2-1. So we should now be working that. Although actually I'm going to keep on this faith until we get the Pantheon for the next couple turns before switching over to the horse. I want the Pantheon as quickly as possible. We might be able to get a free settler, which would be huge. And now I'm going to go for a slinger. I like getting a little bit of military early so that we don't die. And now I'm going to go for astrology. Again, I need at least 1 holy site, and probably only 1, because after we get that first one for the great prophet points, Gars are just better. They get you faith and culture. It is nice to be able to consolidate kind of 2 districts into 1. It means you don't need quite as much population. All right, with this second scout, I'm going to come over here and get this tribal village that I ignored earlier. Lots of rivers up here. Look at this winding river system. And we have amber. Wow. Is that all mining and quarry resources? Jade, diamonds, amber for mining. Gypsum is a quarry. We have a lot of mining and quarry luxuries in our capital. Don't think that's enough to make me go for one of those pantheons for mines and quarries, but all right, we got Pantheon, and let's see. We did not get the first Pantheon. I think we actually got the 3rd, at least, because the free settler is not available, despite us getting 2 faith per turn. Maybe if we had founded our city earlier, we could have gotten it, but that's too bad. And neither is the rainforest one. All right, so it's not as straightforward of Pantheon choices I had thought. That is fine. What do we want instead? We have these horses here. We could go for God of Craftsmen or Open Sky. Open Sky would give us +1 culture to these pastures, to the horses. And God of Craftsmen would give us 1 production and faith when we improve these 2 sources of horse. That's really nice. We could go Earth Goddess. Where is our appeal? Here's our appeal. Actually, it's not quite as appealing as I thought in the mountains here. We have some, but a lot of unappealing terrain here amongst the floodplains, so maybe that's not so good. Yeah, this religious idols one would be funny, given all the luxuries that have mines, but no, that's not the way, unfortunately, even in this start. So I am leaning towards probably God of Craftsmen or Open Sky. Open Sky would apply to cattle as well, but maybe culture isn't something that we really are concerned with. I think the extra faith and production is more appealing. So I'm going to do that. God of Craftsmen does nothing for me at this exact instant, but once I get a builder and improve these horses, these will be really, really nice tiles. Man, the gold we're getting right off the bat is so nice. Now I'm going to swap over to this horse resource. And yeah, look at these. Given the start that we were given, Nepal is making this really nice. I wonder if we'll be able to get into here and take this barbarian camp for the era score. If Geneva does it, no big deal, but I'm going to bring my warrior over there. Yeah, if they get distracted by the scout, that's great. Alright, there's Code of Laws. And we are going to go for Discipline, I believe. Survey's kind of fun if you want to try and get a really nice scouting unit with the +20 combat strength. Ambush, I think is what it's called. But I'm coming in here with my warrior. Nah, it's not worth it. It's never really worth it. It's just kind of fun sometimes. I don't need God King. I already got that. Let's go straight for urban planning. Let's get that production. Because I want a settler now. 9 turns for another settler. Not so bad. Alright, we have foreign trade boosted. We have foreign trade boosted right from the beginning. The craftsmanship would be really nice. But I think I'm going to buy a builder, improve the horses, and then go for craftsmanship. So let's just start with foreign trade here. And we'll keep exploring the frigid north. Looks like this corner of the map is probably very isolated and ours to settle, which is excellent. It's not the best land, but it's ours, I think. Another barb camp down here. Okay. Let's get this tribal village. 75 gold. Wow. Why is that so much? I'll take it. I don't know why that's so much. And we can get then a builder for 200 gold. Oh, I bet they're going to kill the barb camp this turn. Geneva. That's all right. Then I'll move over to the west. Yep. Fine. There's astrology. We'll bring our military over to the western barb camp. Astrology. We have astrology. I think mining might be the next route to go. One thing I forgot to look at is we are settled next to a river and a mountain. That means we have +8. We have 8 housing here. I think we got 2. The capital normally has 6 when you settle next to a river, right? I think so. I can't believe I don't really know that, but 8 seems like is a lot. I think that's +2 more than normal. So that means we get 1 from being adjacent to a mountain and 1 housing from being adjacent to a river. That's really nice. That's great. Extra little thing. Let's get this going. This will be huge. Yes. Look at that tile. We get faith there now too, because of God of Craftsman and extra production. And we're going to get the other horse tile in 4 turns. That is really nice. Alright, the Zanzibaris, going after this tribal barbarian encampment. Hopefully they deal damage to it, but don't take it out entirely. Unfortunately, the Barb Scouts have discovered us. Do not like to see that. In that case, I want the Zanzibaris to send their whole force there. So I might need the help. Another tribal village up in the snow. Glad I came up there to explore. Let's see what we get. A third recon unit. And a site on a barbarian encampment. Okay. We will send this unit out to the east, see if we can't get over the mountains this way. 2 turns until the horse. Fine, I'll keep you there. Another continent, by the way. Congo Craton, Rodinia, and Amasia. Or Amasia. That should be really nice for our Gurkhas. Looks like we have our own little continent here to ourselves, maybe. And foreign continents all around us. Is there a mountain pass here? It looks like there might be. Another barb camp. Alright, that is pretty... This is making it very clear to me, not that it wasn't already, that we are by ourselves in this corner. Right? That means that there's a lot of civs out there, and this is a lot of terrain without visibility from any civ. That's why all these barb camps are spawning. So even though I feel pretty safe from other empires, barbs will probably be an issue for us. So after this, I'm going to probably build another military unit. Look at those horses. Oh, these tiles are so good. I should be able to spit out some slingers and warriors to keep the barbarians at bay. Alright, they're spitting out some units. I'm going to step back a bit. I'm actually going to attack this scout. If I can keep them away from me, that would be great. I also want to build a holy site, of course. I want to get a religion. I like the food here, but that would also be a good holy site. Like I could do holy site, Gar, and campus right here. This would be really nice. I should have placed it there a minute ago. I'm going to pop it there right now. And we're going to finish the settler. And then I'll put a mine there, I think. Or maybe I'll get a farm for food. Anshan, another first meet. Wow, we are really isolated up here. This is really nice, especially compared to my last game as the Rosby. Alright, Anshan gets a science from Great Works, and they want a Great Scientist. That's pretty good. We're going to be getting holy sites, theater squares, and thus we'll get some Great Works. And by the way, Geneva wants the inspiration for early empire, which is to get a population of 6. That should be relatively easy. I almost always get that one. Look at that. We're getting a lot of extra science, a lot of extra yields. First civilization meet. The Aztecs. I was just saying I was feeling pretty safe from foreign enemies, from foreign civs. I still feel pretty safe from them. Usually I wouldn't want to give my capital, the location of my capital away, but I'm going to do it. I want to see where they are. Where are they? Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, they're far away. Yeah, no, there's no way they will come and attack me, right? I think that was an okay move. Another city-state here. Okay, the Zanzibaris are doing a great job. But we have been spotted by one of these. Oof, okay. 6 turns on the holy site. Do I do that before I get the military? I think I do. I'm going to go that and then slinger, warrior, slinger, warrior. Yeah, I'm going to be a little greedy, because what's the worst that the barbs can do at this point? Pillage? Yeah. Let's get a mine going. It's not doing anything at the moment, but it does give us the craftsmanship boost, which is very nice. Yeah, let's start working on craftsmanship here. As for our tech, let's get working on bronze working. If we can find some iron, that would be really nice with our god of craftsman ability, or Pantheon. Okay, second city. We definitely want to settle the mountains. Maybe cross over the mountains here. This looks kind of like an interesting spot here. I haven't really discovered. I've discovered all this, but all this is pretty mediocre. Settling on Lake Retba would give us era score, which is good. Should be very good. Settling in the tundra would give us era score. If we could get a classical era golden age, I'd be very happy. The problem with that, though, is it's at serious risk from all these barbarians. In fact, it could be genuinely just obliterated. So I think my first settler, or technically my second settler, my second city will be down here. So let's try that out. Should be safe from this barbarian scout. I go there. And I'm playing greedy by building a holy site when I should be getting military. Okay, Mohenjo-Daro. That's a good city-state, but I think for Nepal it's not. I want to be settling on rivers, but maybe I'll be settling some off rivers, and then it would be good. Mohenjo-Daro gives you housing to your cities off freshwater, by the way. Not a first meet. Looks like Aztecs got to them first. I could get some extra culture by sending them an envoy right now, but I think I'd rather save this to try and get a suzerainty early. Okay, Aztecs immediately denounce me. That doesn't feel great, but I feel like they're pretty far away. Okay, I should probably focus on one at a time. I can't prevent this scout from getting back home. I want to take this encampment out first. I should be doing that, really. I should. This scout, let's see. How is this terrain down here? It's not bad. Nice food on the sugar. Yeah. Okay, let's try and keep this scout alive amongst the sea of barbarians. Maybe I can use this scout to block this barbarian scout. Yeah, let's get some cities down in this area. This looks really nice, especially for Nepal. Another civ, a little bit closer. It's Gorgo of Greece. Honor to meet you, Gorgo, and I would love to sample your hospitality. Sample a hearty black broth. Yes, please. Ephesus. All right. They are more of a threat than the Aztecs are. I'm going to go ahead and send them an envoy, a delegation right away. And they accept that. Good. Still a -10 opinion on me, but really hope I can keep on good terms with them. That might not be possible. Oof. All right. Yeah, that's a lot of barbarians, and we're going to have more here very soon, I believe. I'm going to attack there. I think I should be safe. Bring this warrior here. Greece and Aztecs. What is good, both of them are pretty aggressive civs, which means we might have some international conflict going on here to get some Diplo points from. So that might be worth something. Let's see, I can take out this slinger. That would put my slinger in range of this spearman. So I'm actually going to move here and do that. And I didn't actually take it out. That's rough. Let's come here with this warrior. Alright, I have more visibility now to really decide where I want to settle. Settling here near the sugar would be nice. But holy, look at these. Like, what a gar that would be. Let's just start putting some tax down. That is a... Oh! I forgot. And I'm glad that the map tax mod caught it that I didn't. I forgot to mention, the gar has to be built on a hill tile. That is a restriction. Now this tile's still fine. This one here should be able to take the gar. But this one can't. That has to be a campus or holy site. But I don't think I would need the holy site. Instead, the guard would be +3 here, +3 here. We still have good spots for it. Like this is about +4. I do like this campus. I think getting that earlier rather than later would be nice. But the lack of luxuries is a problem. Until I get Zanzibar, that is. But I'm going to come down here anyway. We have all these river and mountain tiles to get gold and food from, which will be very nice. Oh! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I did not know how close I was to America. Well, I am going to try it forward settle them, and that might be a big mistake down the road. Oof. What are they like again? They technically like peaceful civilizations that have a city on its home continent. Maybe they won't be a terrible warmonger, America. Maybe they will like me for actually forward settling them. But also maybe not. We will see how it goes. I really have no way at this point to defend this city if they do bring their military over to me. Okay, we have a holy site, a splendid holy site. That's excellent. And I'm going to just be building military now for barbarians, for maybe America, maybe Greece. I need the defense. Look at that. Okay, you come in here. If I can take this out, I might even have to sacrifice the unit to do so, but it might be worthwhile. I'll bring you back and heal. Will that survive if this unit attacks me after having healed a bit? Honestly, I don't. I think it might not. I'm going to keep going. Oh boy. It's already getting hairy. Am I settling on the stone? Yeah, that would, or here actually. I'm going to try this spot right here. And there's Washington. We've already got a campus up. Pretty good one. Science and culture doing pretty well for America. I'm a little scared. And we just discovered the continent of America too, which is where the Civ of America is located. That makes sense. Lots of continents here. Very interesting. And there's Rome.
Augusta e Roma imperator Caesar Traianus sum. Quis es? Qua terra patria vocas.
Okay, another potential warmonger. Honored to meet you. And sure, I'll let you see my capital. They seem like they're pretty far away. Oh, and there's the Fountain of Youth. With the Terra Mirabilis mod, land combat units from any civilization that owns this tile receive the Water of Life ability, allowing it to heal when ending a turn adjacent to a source of fresh water. That's a very good one, but it looks like Greece has already claimed it for the moment. And with that, our scout is able to level up next turn. Okay, wow, that was risky. I kind of didn't think about that. Our warrior is in a rough spot. If I go here, I should be safe next turn. And with my slinger, I will just level it up to volley. And let's settle our second city. First settlement on Rodinia. That's my first settlement on Rodinia. Is that right? Or is it the first settlement ever? Minus 0.5, that's probably from happiness, yeah. Lahana and Aguraka. Yeah, the lack of amenities is hurting us. Lack of luxuries, I should say. Let's go for a slinger right off the bat. In terms of great profits, there is someone ahead of us, but we're doing fine. And we've got pretty good tiles here. We're working on, yeah, the horses right now. Unfortunately, this barbarian scout has found us. I was hoping it was already aggroed on Washington or something. There might be another encampment in these mountains here. Okay, our units are getting ganged up on, but as long as they're coming this way, that's fine with me. I just don't want them to come towards my city. Let's see if we can't get them to come on a wild goose chase while I build up more of a military in the capital. I'm really hoping Greece and Washington get into a scrap so that Washington gets tied up. Unfortunately, they're currently friendly with each other. That is not what I want to see. They're all friendly with each other. How did that happen? Alright, I can kill that. And with that, we get the bronze working boost. That's great. Right, we got a slinger in the capital. Let's bring it over. Yeah, that's not great. And we need these to start fortifying, healing up. There is another barb camp down here, and it's going to be coming right to Lahana. That is not what I wanted to see. We've also discovered Granada, which wants a great scientist. I'm still going to... Ooh, I could get more production towards units in my capital, but I think I'm still going to hold on to this. I could probably get Geneva pretty soon if I get this quest and then send an envoy there. Yeah, I just need a little bit more population. We could settle another city in these mountains here at some point. And let's go for Alpine on this one as well. Alright, this is a dangerous spot, but if I come here to this tile and then attack, nice, we got the archery boost and we are safe from any reprisal. You heal up as well. And I guess we just keep exploring. The Aztecs like that I don't have any luxuries. That is good, I guess, yeah. I'm hoping that Teddy will like me as well. Okay, Lahana is loyal. I'm not sure why. Maybe Washington lost a population or something like that. But that's good. And we have barbarians coming in on Gorkha. I think I'm just going to move back into the capital. Let them come to me. And let's go for archery now. Ah, and we have now revealed iron on the map. So let's see where there's iron. Okay, there's iron there and there. That's great. Nearby. This one's in range of both cities. This one, I'll need a new city there. But those will be really good with my God of Craftsmen, Pantheon. Oh, right, we have horses to sell. I forgot about that. That I should have done ages ago. Wow, that's pretty good. I'm going to go for 130 gold up front, 7 gold per turn. That's amazing. And that means I can get another builder. What I'm going to do to improve these horses. Another Civ. Mapuche. That's one of the nice things about Pangaea is you meet a lot of civs early on. I'll visit your city. Which gets us quite a bit of era score. We're only 2 away in the last 10 turns. Oh, wow. Crippling Blizzard. Units lost? Did you lose a unit? I don't think I lost a unit, but that's scary. Where's it going? It is headed northeast, okay. Let me just kind of get out of the way of that, hopefully. Put a warrior here and attack. Almost dead. Hopefully he doesn't pillage, but he very well might. And let's improve this pasture. There's the Mapuche scout. Where are they located? Rome's down here. I may have invited them to see me. That's fine. Kumasi. Kumasi's in the game again. I want a trade route. Kumasi's a very good city-state. Ah, Charleston. Wow, America's got a lot of settlers. They have 4 cities and 2 settlers on the way. And we did get pillaged here, unfortunately. Oh, good. Yes. Greece has declared war on America. That's excellent news. It means that America will be off my back, I hope. Alright, some good news. Lahana's losing loyalty. That's not good news. Just 1 per turn, though. Should be fine once this grows. Got it. Let us get a quarry for the masonry boost. Okay. Greece doesn't like me because I guess I'm not at war. But I'm hoping that her war with America will keep her... She is still far away, too. Keep her at bay. Alright. We can take out this barbarian now and start moving again towards this camp. We should absolutely be able to get a classical era golden age, which I really appreciate. That'll be huge, especially for this civ with such easy access to a lot of faith. We're already on almost 10 faith per turn, and it's only turn 40. Roman territory there. Rome and Greece are right next to each other. We've got Washington, or America. Ooh, wow. Mipuche is probably over here, and the Aztecs on the other side of what looks like a sea here. Ah, we have mercenaries already. Boosted, I should say. Alright, this military is actually looking pretty good. Let's go for garrison on this one. I think I'm going to not build this warrior quite yet, and instead go for another settler, maybe a shrine. One thing I do have to worry about is in the classical era, a lot of civs that get golden ages go for the religious one, meaning they get 4 great prophet points per turn. And I don't plan on going for that. I planned on going for the monumentality one. But that would mean that they could outpace me on great prophets if I don't put a little bit of effort into getting one sooner rather than later. So I'm actually going to not build a settler yet. I'm going to just wait and do 1 or 2 of these projects. I'm curious about, oh yeah, so there's the Gurkha. It's unlocked in military tradition. That's really soon. That's really early in the civics tree. That's cool. And then the other unique unit, mysticism. Yeah, also very early. That's something that would be really fun to play with. 50 production. In Lahana, I'm feeling pretty safe now. Let's go for a monument in Lahana. Gets our culture up. Oh, Zanzibar might yet again steal, or a city-state might yet again steal a barb encampment. Hopefully they choose to heal instead. And let's get the quarry, which gives us the masonry boost. Beautiful. Look at these lovely tiles. Really, really powerful. Another city-state here, and another world wonder, or natural wonder, I should say. This is Ikkil, which grants 15% production towards wonders for any civilization that owns the tile. And with that, we are only 1 point away from an classical era golden age. No problem. All these scouts will surely get it. Yeah, even without getting any of these barbarian camps. So that one to the west is gone. At least I don't have to worry about it anymore. We finally unlocked a Gogi right after finished building a ton of units. That was smart. But I think it was worth doing it before getting, rushed or anything. And in terms of tech, we've unlocked archery. So I'm feeling really quite secure here. Let's go for writing next. And we'll go for foreign trade now. Yeah, I think we still want to just rush political philosophy as quickly as possible. Okay, with our military, actually we should be heading north. That's where the barbs are now. And down here, but I'm not bringing my entire military down this way just to try for this camp. I'm sure America will take care of it, I hope, at least. At least the barbs will get bogged down with Charleston, I hope. Looks like there might be another pass here through the mountains, which is great to see. And with this last charge of this builder, I think I'm actually going to come up here to the iron and buy this tile, because not only will that be a great source of yields, but it will also give me iron per turn that I can then turn into even more gold. Wow, let's see if Greece is going to be able to take Buffalo. And then if they'll be able to hold on to it. There are some borders here. Purple. It's not Rome, is it? No way. Is Mapuche purple?
Ditissimas tui regni regiones diripendas ostibus davisti. Num propagatio adio te terret.
Rome doesn't like how small I am. That's fine. Who is this? Theodora. Well, there is our Golden Age. That's good. A lot of civilizations all crammed in here. Honored to meet you, and we would love to sample your hospitality. Antioch, which is about to fall disloyal. Or is disloyal, about to fall independent. And in yet another continent. Holy. I've never seen this many continents so tight together at the start of the game. And there's Kabul. They want a government plaza. Lots of city-states. Kabul would be pretty cool. Yep, Antioch just went independent. It looks like it's going to go to America. Oh, this might have been a mistake. This can get double attacked. Alright, doesn't look like there's a way through up here. Maybe up in the far north, but the passes across the mountains are definitely limited, which is really good for my safety. Alright. It looks like my slinger is safe for the time being, so glad to see that. Oh yeah, really, that is the only tile that gets through that we've discovered so far. Probably here as well, and then over here. But we are very safe in Gorkha. Lahana, not so much, but at least we kind of secured access on both sides of these mountains. I'd like to see that. Pottery and foreign trade. And we've met Hattusa. Down here, they want a great general. And we can create a trade route. Excellent. Let's, I'm going to buy a builder to repair this tile and maybe get a farm going. And then we'll start working on state workforce. We're 3 turns away from getting to 6 population, which will mean we will get the boost to Early Empire, and then we will get an envoy in Geneva and be able to put a 3rd envoy in there to become suzerain for a nice 15% science. Another Civ, Nubia. All right. Honored to meet you, and yeah, let's see where your capital is. Way over here, Grey Nubia. We've met Vilnius as well. So many civs. Vilnius is at war with the Aztecs. Are the Aztecs at war with anyone? They are. They're at war with Nubia. All right. Lots of conflict. We've met 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the 9 total other civs. All right, the Barbs are looking very vulnerable now. We've got quite the force to defeat them. I love seeing that. We'll immediately come here to repair the horses. Look at that tile. 14 more gold in order to get the iron. Let's see if we can't get 14 more. $39 gold? Sure. Alright, so now it already has the +1 faith because it's adjacent to a mountain. And now it'll have a bunch of extra production in faith. And with that we got some nice eurekas. We got ironworking and wheel, ironworking and wheel. And that is really nice. And it'll start accumulating iron for us, which we can sell as well, or turn into units. This game is working out pretty well so far. I'm very happy with it. Alright, looks like Byzantium got the first great prophet. Yeah. And she founded Oriental Orthodoxy, which is the work ethic. With the work ethic belief. That's fine. I don't want that one anyway. As I said, I'm not really planning on building any holy sites. I'm going to go for a... I'm going to build a settler now in Lahana. That'll be great. And then, yeah, let's build a farm up here. We're just going to swarm this spearman. And there's early empire, which means that we can now become suzerain of Geneva, which I'm going to do immediately. Am I going to do it immediately? Actually, I am not going to do it immediately. I think I'm going to save that for next era, to get save the era score of becoming first suzerain for when I need it. Right now I have all the era score I need, and it's only 3 turns until the classical era. So I'm going to actually save that. Forego the science for now, for the era score down the road. Alright, here we go. Barb camp. Close to dead. Maybe we can save that till the next era as well. Really optimize the era score. That'll be excellent. 2 turns till ancient era ends. Alright. Here go the barbs. Yeah, I'm just going to hold here on the doorstep of this barbarian encampment. Let's get this farm. There's the irrigation boost. I like to see that. I'm actually going to work that tile there. I want the food, I want the growth. And next turn we should also get a great profit. Excellent. Am I going to save that as well? Man, I could really optimize this, can't I? Yeah, I'm going to save that as well. I'm going to switch off that. Go instead for another settler, so that I get the great person in the new era. Like, I can make my chaining of golden ages as easy as possible. There is writing. Great. We can get some really nice campuses now. I also want to get currency for commercial hubs. Yeah, let's get going there. I'll definitely be making a trader soon. Looks like Germany, but it's not. It's Nubia. Who we discovered now? Caguana. And there we are. The classical era. We are in a golden age. As is everyone else except for the Aztecs and America, who are in normal ages. Glad to see America's in a normal age. We're obviously going to go monumentality. We've got lots of gold and faith to just buy everything we could possibly want. All the settlers and builders. And this is just going to slingshot our empire. It's just going to be great. I think this is where I'm going to end the first episode of this series. But let's actually go one more turn so that we can get our religion going. I'm going to also send an envoy to Geneva, which will give us some era score for the medieval era. And then I'm also going to clear out this barbarian encampment, which will give us a little bit of era score. 2 era score there. And we are in an excellent spot. Aztecs don't like me anymore. I must have gotten a luxury from Geneva. Yeah, I got diamonds from them, which is nice. I have some more amenities, but not nice in that the Aztecs envy it, are jealous of my diamonds. Alright, I think I'm done exploring with the slinger. Let's send you back home. And there is our great prophet. And we have a religion. I don't need this anymore. And we will found that religion in the next episode. So thank you very much for watching. This is a pretty satisfying start. We have these amazing tile yields. And only 2 cities so far, but we got a golden age, we have a religion. I think this game will probably go a whole lot smoother than the last. So make sure to stick around for the next episode. And if you haven't yet, I really recommend you watch my previous series as the Rosby Empire, also by Strudeler of the Tart Society. That was quite a different game and very emotional. An emotional roller coaster, ups and downs. This one feels a lot sturdier, but there's definitely a lot of drama that could be in store for us, and we might stir up some of our own. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.